Hello, my name's Adam Hills. Welcome to Spicks and Specks, the show in which two teams of well-known music lovers go toe-to-toe, head-to-head and cheek-to-cheek to test their musical knowledge. Let's meet them. Our first team leader is a man who has modelled his leadership skills on the captain from The Captain and Tennille. Please welcome Alan Bro. Alan's first guest tonight is a comedian and cabaret singer with a dark side. If Ozzy Osbourne and Liza Minnelli had a love child, it would be Eddie Perfect. Right. Alan's final teamster was not only present at the birth of Australian Boogie, he cut the umbilical cord, smacked its ass and breastfed it for the first 6 months. From Eagle Rock to Mondo Rock, Ross Wilson. Our second team leader's name is the short form of the Welsh name Myfanwy, which means train station on a hill overlooking a meadow with 2 sheep and a cow with a spot on its head near its nose. Please welcome from Triple J the idyllic Miff Warhurst. Miff's first teammate was the lead singer of 90s pop band Frente, who gave us such hits as Ordinary Angels and Accidentally Kelly Street. She recently appeared on the cult TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer as a nightclub singer for a room full of bloodthirsty demons. Wasn't nearly as scary as the time she played the Williamstown Festival Rotunda, though. Please welcome Angie Hart. Miff's final competitor is one of Australia's hottest young stars. He's done radio, he's done TV, and soon he'll be doing a short-lived marriage and a battle with prescription drugs. It's Hamish Blake. Now, Al, Miff and I had a lovely musical moment during the week when we were chatting and realised that even though Al grew up in New Zealand and Miff grew up in country Australia and I grew up in the city, there's one album that we all have in common. ABBA's Arrival. Oh. Oh, yes. What was it that did it for you about ABBA's Arrival, Miff?
Well, I would have been about 3 at the time, and the beards, I think, on the men, I quite liked that at 3. That was nice. A bit like Santa, but blonde. And the ladies, of course, they were gorgeous, so, you know.
Kind of what did it for me as well.
I like the helicopter. It was just perfect, and they're getting out. They were all jaunty and Swedish, and they were just like, we've arrived. And you go from a helicopter, how rock and roll is that? Apart from the fact it's one of those bubble ones that crash like every second time they go up. They had long skirts with cats on the front of them, and in one song, I can't remember what it was, they tore the long skirts off, and they had hot pants on.
Hot pants, great.
And I just thought, that'd be so cool at school, wouldn't it? come out to Little Play, and everyone goes, oh, it's a bit hot, and you go, yeah. And you've got hot pants on, and they go, let's rock!
No, I'm trying to pretend they never existed.
How come?
Oh, I'm really... It's a bit creepy. It's a bit IKEA music. You know what I mean? You go in and you can't come out.
Alrighty, let's get playing with the show. Our first game tonight is called Common People. Each team will be shown 3 different artists. They have to work out what those 3 artists have in common. Alan's team, here are your artists. Guitar legend Eric Clapton.
Yep.
The 50s crooner who gave us Splish Splash, Dream Lover and Beyond the Sea, Bobby Darin. And the Australian star of the hit musical Shout, David Campbell. What do these 3 artists have in common?
They're male.
They're male?
Male,
yep.
Good start, yeah.
Well, that game's over.
Yep, there we go.
My idea was that they either have the word clap or in their name, or they had the clap.
Yeah. All I know is that Bobby Darin donated his body to science when he died. He gave it to the UCLA Medical School.
Another train of thought, it's sort of actually coming back to me. As I wrote some songs with David Campbell's old man, with Barnsey, and David Campbell was just starting to be coming back into the family because he hadn't known that Barnsey was his dad. Perhaps the thing they have in common is that they were raised either by their grandmothers and thought that they were their mothers, or raised by their mothers and thought they were their grandmothers.
Is there anyone here from the deep south of America that can explain that?
I reckon you're right, because I've heard that as well. Eric Clapton was raised by his grandmother, and he had a sister, and then I think when he was 9, he found out that his
sister was his mum or something.
His mum, yeah.
A lot of that goes on.
Yeah, and the same thing happened to Bobby Darin, except both his parents were living with him and were his sister and brother, and he was raised by his grandparents.
So it's not something they said like so they could beat him up, like, no, I'm actually your mum, give me the toy, kind of thing. Like.
So I reckon that's the answer. Eric Clapton,
Something like that.
Bobby Darin and David Campbell were all raised by their grandparents, but thought their grandparents were their parents, and then discovered they weren't because their sister was actually their mother. And I can't say it any more.
That was the most convoluted and confusing answer, and it's completely right. That's exactly what happened. Each of them were raised by the person that they thought was their mother, who turned out to be their grandmother, and the person that was their sister turned out to be their mother. That means David Campbell is actually his own uncle.
Probably knows what he wants to get himself for Christmas then.
Yes, yeah.
I'm my favourite uncle.
And then at family parties he gets drunk and tells himself inappropriate jokes.
Sorry, my uncle's pissed, he does it all the time.
Miff's team, here are your artists. Legendary singer-songwriter Carole King, successful musician and unsuccessful actress Madonna, and the 60s soul singer who gave us Reet Petite and Lonely Teardrops, Jackie Wilson. What do these three artists have in common?
They're all in those little photo frames.
Well, unless they all appeared in Madonna's sex book, which she did in the 90s.
I was in there for a bit.
I
know you were in there, Alan. Everyone was in there.
Everyone. I think we need to actually talk to an expert. I know that you've actually met Madonna.
Yeah, she wanted to sign Frente to her company, which we met with her, and after meeting with her decided that that would be a really bad idea.
Oh, wow.
You snubbed Madonna?
Yeah.
Why? What was it about her?
Didn't like her.
Fair enough. Just got honest. Did you somehow know that in the future she'd try and do that weird rap thing and you just went, no, I don't want to be part of that?
It could have been. It could have been this thing
Yeah, that's annoying.
in the office. You know, when you're trying to have a business meeting, that's kind of weird.
Is she doing that?
You're kidding.
What is that anyway? Was it meant to be sexual or...?
Well, is there anything that you kind of came across that maybe might link her to Carole King? I can't see any.
Well, I snubbed Carole King as well.
Oh, you're kidding.
This could be the thing in common. I snubbed Jackie Wilson. He tried to rip me off in a car and I went, no way, mate, not interested.
There could be something in that, the names of similarities in the names or names of songs. Like I know
Jackie Wilson has one.
Jackie Wilson has.
Jackie Wilson said.
That's a combining factor, I reckon. There's two artists there. Jackie Wilson had the song sung about him. It was a Van Morrison song, is that right?
That's pretty good.
And also, and Madonna, Do It With Madonna, the Androids, a local band, they did a song about
It's either that or
Mads.
they all like spaghetti on toast. You choose.
You're going to go with they've all had a song written after them?
I reckon, but we're taking a gamble on the Carole King factor because we're not sure about that one.
The correct answer is they've all had songs written about them and named after them. Oh Carol was a hit for Neil Sedaka. Australian band The Androids sang I Want to Do It With Madonna, and Jackie Wilson Said was a hit for both Van Morrison and Dexy's Midnight Runners. Well done, you lot. At the end of that round, that was a point each for both of the teams. Well done. And now, Angie, did I read... Someone wrote a song about you as well. Are you in the title of a song?
Angie Hart made me want to move to Melbourne. Seriously.
You've got to be happy with that.
You didn't write it yourself and just distribute it, did you? No.
Now, there's a great true story about the song Jackie Wilson Said. In 1982, the band Dexy's Midnight Runners performed the song on the famous British music show Top of the Pops. However, instead of a picture of Jackie Wilson as their backdrop, the BBC props men accidentally gave them a picture of the legendary Scottish darts player Jockey Wilson. Let's see the two together for a moment.
That's uncanny.
Well,
Jackie Wilson again?
They both got their hands knitted.
It looks like Jackie Wilson just had a pint, which really goes hand in hand with the...
Right, it's time to move along to the next round. Now, performers are notorious for not looking after themselves. Straggly, unkempt hair, wild eyes, bad personal hygiene. No offence to anyone on the panel, by the way. Sometimes you can't tell if they're a musician or a serial killer. Either way, it couldn't hurt to ask for an autograph. That's why we've come up with a game called Musician or Serial Killer. I'm going to show each team member a photograph. They have to decide whether the person in question is a musician or a serial killer. Miff's team goes first. Miff, here's your photo. Is this a musician or a serial killer?
Really difficult to tell. I mean, you know, how do you know if someone's a murderer or a musician? From that, I'm not sure. The hat, perhaps a little bit of costume wear, which is, you know, goes with the world of the musicians. They love to dress up, but then again, the hat could be for, you know, hiding the face when doing, you know,
And
dastardly deeds.
If a witness says, did he have a hat on, and they go, yes, they put that photo out, just take your hat off. You've got a perfect disguise. So it's probably not a bad trick if you are a serial killer, which I'm not supporting.
But look, also the hat, you know, music's got a bit of vanity in it. No offence, Ross, but could be hiding the loss of hair, so I'm going to go musician.
That is the man who inspired such characters as Norman Bates from Psycho, Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, serial killer Ed Gein.
Oh, you know how to pick it. Yeah.
Angie, what do you think this lady is, musician or serial killer?
Yeah, her eyes are really wide apart. I think that makes her. I'm going serial killer.
You're going serial killer?
Yep.
Because her eyes are wide apart. That is the angel of death, Janine James, the serial killer. Hamish, musician or serial killer?
He's got to be a serial killer. Sorry to make it a really quick segment, but that guy's probably got about 100 people. Yeah, look, he's a little bit concerned about the body he's just cut up, but he doesn't care. He'll do it again, no remorse. He might have even eaten them. He's clearly got no teeth. He's got no teeth. He's got no teeth.
Yeah, that's it. He hasn't eaten them yet. He's going, where are my teeth? I need to eat this new corpse.
Where did I put the barbecue sauce? I don't know. He's a serial killer. And if I had to wager a guess, probably the death toll, we're looking at around 30 plus.
That is legendary jazz trumpeter, musician Chet Baker.
So he says. Watch out.
Chet Baker famously battled an addiction to heroin throughout his life, an addiction that ultimately led to his downfall. After a drug deal went bad in the late 60s, Baker had his front teeth knocked out by the dealer. That's why he looks the way he does.
Sorry, Chet, the appearances can be misleading. Sorry about that.
Being toothless stopped him from playing the trumpet for 2 years, although it did leave him with the perfect look for playing the banjo. Oh, we've offended banjo players, haven't we?
We just lost all of a sudden the banjo players rise up.
I'm going to get you for what you said about the teeth, boy.
Now, on to Alan's team. Okay. Alan, is this a musician or a serial killer?
Well, I'm going to narrow it down even more. He's either a serial killer or a drummer. He looks like a drummer to me. I reckon he's either giving it a bit of this or giving it a bit of this. And I'm going to say he's giving it a bit of this, and I believe that gentleman is a serial killer.
That is the legendary drummer for such artists as Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash and Neil Diamond, musician Ron Tutt.
So close.
I know! How can I get it wrong? Imagine confusing a drummer and a murderer.
Eddie, how about we show you your photo right now?
Oh.
Is that a musician or a serial killer?
Freddie Mercury's dad. He's got kind of jazz muso lips. He's got like a, you know, like trombone player's lips. I reckon I'm going to go with a musician. He's a musician.
I can tell you that is the man who wrote and produced hits for such artists as Gene Vincent, Kiss and Nirvana, musician Kim Fowley.
I know that guy. He's actually a lot weirder than he looks.
Really?
Yeah. When Daddy Cool landed in LA for the first time in 1971 to take over America and get a record deal, the management had thought ahead and they thought, we'll do a few things. And they hired a film crew to meet us at the airport to sort of film us going around LA and playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go, you know. And behind the film crew, you still had to come out to the tarmac at that time. So you go down the stairs and out to the tarmac. Film crew's there and we're going, wow, LA, Hollywood, you know. Guy comes across the tarmac in a wheelchair. Says, where's Daddy Cool, where's Daddy Cool? And he wheeled over to me and he went, I'm cured, Daddy Cool has cured me, and started running around. And that was Kim Fowley.
I don't know whether it's much point asking you if this is a musician or serial killer, because either way, you've probably worked with him.
Look like any musicians I know.
Educated.
Yeah, educated, with a mortarboard and all that. No, I have to say killer. Definitely killer.
You're going to say serial killer?
Yeah.
That is husky-voiced wild child Janis Joplin.
She killed a lot of bottles.
Back to Kim Fowley for a second. As well as being a singer, songwriter, producer and the self-proclaimed mayor of Sunset Strip, He also claims to have discovered preteen pop sensations Hanson. Although to avoid the shame, he tells people he's a serial killer. The next round is called Substitute. One member of each team has to sing well-known songs, and their teammates have to guess what the songs are. But here's the catch. The singer must replace the lyrics with words from a text provided by me. Eddie, you'll be singing for Alan's team, and you'll be substituting the lyrics with words from the Bible. Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Perfect.
Okay. Noah was 600 years old when the flood waters came on the earth, and Noah and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives entered the ark to escape the waters of the flood. Pairs of clean and unclean animals.
Raindrops
Keep falling
yeah.
on my head.
Yes, it's raindrops keep falling on my head.
A champion named Goliath came out of the Philistine camp. He was over 9 feet tall, had a bronze helmet on his head. He wore a coat of scale on weighing 5,000 shekels. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod, and its iron point weighed 600 shekels.
Take on me.
Take on Me by Aha. Well done.
I would never have done that.
No, that doesn't bode well, does it?
Not at all.
Come, let us sing for joy to the Lord. Let us shout aloud to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before him with thanksgiving and extol him with music and song. For the Lord is the great God, the great King above all gods. In his hands are the depths of the earth, and the mountain peaks belong to him. Wow. The sea is his, for he made it. And his hands formed the dry land.
Wonderwall by Oasis.
It is indeed Wonderwall by Oasis. 3 points out of 3. Come and take your seat again. That was superb. Normally that's a really quite a nerve-wracking thing, but you've actually performed before Nelson Mandela at some point.
Oh yeah. I was doing a gig as part of a South African ensemble, and the only South African in the group had left after soundcheck to do another gig down the road, thinking he'd quickly do that and then come back in time for the President's Cup, which is what we were doing, a really huge gig. And so of course he didn't make it back in time, and the curtains went up, and I got to represent South Africa singing in Shangaan, playing a kalimba, which I'd never actually played in public. What's a kalimba? It's a thumb piano with little pieces of steel over a wooden soundboard, and goes ding 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 ding, so now I'm just plucking randomly and singing in front of Nelson Mandela. So that was me representing South Africa, the whitest black South African ever. All I could see was Nelson Mandela going.
Angie, you'll be singing for Miss Team.
Yep.
And you'll be taking your lyrics from the Tirana 1600 Service and Repair Manual. There's the manual, there are your songs. Don't show the rest of your team. Ladies and gentlemen, Angie Hart.
Don't worry about this, Miff. We'll get this one late.
Raise the engine bonnet and fit fender covers to both front fenders.
Oh, it's Shannon Knoll.
Disconnect
Drive.
the battery earth terminal from the battery.
It's not Kung Fu Fighting, is it?
It is indeed Kung Fu Fighting.
I was feeling
Probably
it.
the most confident answer you'll see all night.
The Trimatic transmission is a 3-speed automatic transmission unit consisting of a torque converter, compound planetary gear train with 3 multi
Clutches and one
It's
grand
beautiful.
assembly.
It's beautiful.
Got it?
I
It's
think
George,
it might be.
George Harrison, Imagine.
Imagine. I'm just going to let you answer everything.
Thank you so much. Miff's like the cool mum that takes you to sports and, like, you know, tells people that you're quite good. And
He's
just got
special.
he's got a sore ankle today. And normally when he's out there, he's bloody good. So
Imagine.
handballing a few to me.
What was that, Mum?
Imagine.
It was indeed Imagine John Lennon.
John Lennon. I was thinking My Sweet Lord by George Harrison.
I thought you were joking.
Oh, they've accidentally invited
get
me to a
out.
music show. That was Imagine. Well done, Miff. Good help.
Make sure the battery is connected with the correct polarity to the Earth. Refer to specifications. It's very difficult.
Can
Do
tell she
not
wants me to get this
short
one.
out or ground.
Girls just want to have fun together.
Yes,
I know, it's my mobile phone ringtone. So, how could I not know it?
Hamish, that is hardly redeeming yourself in the eyes of the viewing public to go, hey, I know I missed John Lennon, but I got Cyndi Lauper.
Yeah. I ask you, mate, at her height, she was bigger than Jesus. So that's
3 points each for both sides then. The first song Angie performed there was indeed Kung Fu Fighting, a one-hit wonder for Carl Douglas in 1974. The idea for the song came from the popularity of Bruce Lee movies and the TV show Kung Fu in 1974. We can all thank the Lord it wasn't written in 1984, or would have been singing, everybody was Rubik's Cubing.
I've got a sign! I've got a sign!
And Ross, writing something like Eagle Rock, at what point do you come up with a song? At what point are you sitting there and go, that's it, I've got Eagle Rock in my head?
Usually have the title first, so it's there. It's just you just got to find exactly where it is and get it out. I found this old lyric sheet for Eagle Rock from like one of the first times we performed it at this hippie dance, and it had things like, we'll hop and we'll bop and we'll do the Eagle Rock.
It's Dr. Zeus.
So, like luckily, you keep working on the songs.
Right. When you came up with the lyric, good old Eagle Rock is here to stay, you think that's a bit cocky? Or...
Hey, it proved to be prophetic.
Right, before we get into the last round, let's do a quick score check. Miff, your team has a total of 5 points. Alan, your team also has a total of 5 points. Oh, yes. It's time to play the final countdown. This will decide the winner of the show. This is a quick fire round of questions. Buzz in if you know the answer. 1 point for a correct answer, 1 point off for a wrong answer. Your questions start now. Wheels on Fire is the theme song for...
Absolutely fabulous, not bragging.
Indeed it is, yes. According to John Lennon's Glass Onion, who was the walrus? Yep.
Paul McCartney?
Indeed. Who is Judy Garland's daughter?
Liza Minnelli?
Yep. Which famous jazz star was also known as Satchmo?
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong, indeed. On which street did Bruce Springsteen's band live?
E.
E, indeed.
I was just buzzing because they kept beating us.
Who was the muse for Nick Cave's album The Boatman's Call?
PJ Harvey.
PJ Harvey, well done. Peter Allen won an Oscar for writing one line in the song Arthur's Theme. What was that line?
I hate Monday.
Caught between the moon and New York City.
Nice work, Miff. Which song was a hit for both Nat King Cole and Rick Astley? Yep.
Whenever you need somebody. No, I don't know.
Nat King Cole was a merry old soul. And so was Rick Astley with his hat and his pipe and his
I'm going to get it.
big
Somewhere
blue
he
bike.
dances like that in the film clip, isn't it?
Oh, When I Fall in Love.
Wouldn't have got it.
Yes. Lucille Ball, Marilyn Monroe and Mick Jagger are featured on which Rolling Stones album cover?
Some girls.
Yes.
Oh!
What is Mozart's first name? Yep.
Wolfgang.
Wolfgang, indeed. Which city do hard-rocking band The Strokes come from?
New York City.
New York City. Who is Huddy Ledbetter, better known as?
Leadbelly.
Indeed. Name 3 famous blind singers. This side.
Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles and John Farnham. Not many people know that. That's why, yeah, that's why he just keeps doing the farewell thing. He just can't read his posters and stuff. He just keeps getting confused.
I'm afraid I can't get that to you. I would have accepted Jose Feliciano or Andrea Bocelli. And on to the final question. This may decide the winner of the game. Who is the shortest of the three tenors?
Jose Carreras.
Jose Carreras it is.
Smith, way to know.
At the end of all the rounds, Miff's team went gold with 9 points, but Alan's team went all the way to platinum with a whopping 11 points. Would you please thank all our guests for tonight, Eddie Perfect, Ross Wilson, Angie Hart and Hamish Blake. And of course, our two team captains, Alan Bro and Miff Warhurst. Thanks for watching Spicks and Specks. My name's Adam Hills. Good night, Australia.